Right, guys, Arsenal have just beaten Man United 3-2, and what a game of football that was. I'm 19 years old, by the way. I've been watching football, I would say, 13 or 14 years now. That's the best these two teams have been on a football pitch together. I know Arsenal did largely dominate the game. They were deserving of the victory in the end, I think. But Man United certainly put up a fight, and when they did go forward, they did look very good. United opened the scoring through Rashford. What a goal it was as well. Thomas Partey gave the ball away a little bit cheaply in midfield. Rashford gets onto it, takes it past a couple of players, and gets the shot off so early with so little backlift and so much power. Ramsdale just has absolutely no chance in saving that. That's like something you expect to see from like Cristiano Ronaldo when he was in his prime. Absolutely amazing goal. And Arsenal, in fairness to them, they responded well to that. In fact, Arsenal, they were the better team in both halves. I don't think Man United will feel like that they were done an injustice by losing this game just because of how good Arsenal were. But I think they'll be a bit disappointed that they didn't manage to hold on to the draw in the end. But what a game. And Nketiah equalised about 5 minutes later. And I think Wan-Bissaka had a decent game, but I think for this goal you have to look at it and say that he was the one at fault for it, really. Xhaka puts in a brilliant ball, and it's really clever movement from Nketiah because he times his run brilliantly so that he's not offside, but he can still go around Wan-Bissaka, as in go closer to goal and then sort of come away from goal to header it. So really intelligent movement from Nketiah, and brilliant header as well. Well worked goal from a set piece. And going into half time, I think Arsenal they wouldn't have been too happy. I think they'd have been happy that they weren't behind, considering they did concede, and they did respond well to it, and that's the truth, really. But I think they would have been unhappy with how much they were letting Weghorst be able to sort of not give Saliba or Gabriel any time on the ball, because Weghorst got hold of the ball quite a lot, especially in the first half, and he held it up well and played some good passes out wide to Anthony and Rashford on the wings. I thought this was the first game that I've seen from Weghorst where he's played well in the United shirt, because I thought in the week against Palace he was largely insignificant, really. Didn't get involved enough. But this game, I thought, he had a reasonably decent game, and he looks like a player who is an option to have off the bench with 10 minutes to go. If they're desperate for a goal, just chuck him on. But also, I don't think he's going to be a player who is going to be a prolific goal scorer. I think he is there more to be a bit of a target man, because I think the word target man gets thrown around too much these days, because people say, oh, he's 6 foot plus and he's a striker, he must be a target man. That's not what a target man is. A target man is someone where you can hit the ball up long and they'll chase it down, or they'll win the ball and bring it down. And I think Weghorst can do that. Like, a brilliant example of a target man these days, I think, is actually up front for Napoli, Victor Osimhen. I think he's a brilliant target man. He's not the biggest player, but he's excellent at using his power and physique just to get hold of the ball and win duels against opposing centre-backs. So I think when people say target man just because he's a big lad, that's not the case. But I think with Weghorst, he is a genuinely good target man, because of how not only is he good in the air, he's also quite athletic and physical. So I think he makes a good target man for Man United. But half time, Arsenal come out. Second half, they make a change, bringing on Tomiyasu for Ben White, and I think that was a smart decision. Not that Ben White was bad or anything, but Rashford did cause Arsenal a lot of problems down that left hand side, and Ben White being booked. I think he was booked in the first half. I can't quite remember, but it looked like he was going to be struggling second half on a yellow card. So Tomiyasu coming on was the right change to make. And second half, it also looked to me like they were prepared to take a risk and maybe risk giving Anthony a bit more freedom on the right, just so they could get Zinchenko involved a bit more. And that risk to me seemed to pay off, because Zinchenko in the end almost came into like a midfield position, like a white midfield, playing like as a 4 in midfield almost at times. So yeah, that paid off in the end, I think. And yeah, they got an early goal second half. Bukayo Saka, brilliant strike. Again, similar to Rashford's goal, I think he caught De Gea slightly off guard, because he didn't run up to the ball. He didn't have a lot of backlift to it. He hit it almost quite immediately, if that makes sense. Like he didn't shape up to shoot it. He just sort of shot and got loads of power and brilliant accuracy to it. And it was a brilliant goal as well. I did notice how Saka went up to the same corner of the ground when he scored and did the same celebration that Rashford did. I don't know if there was a bit of, I don't know, taking the mick there a little bit, but yeah, it was a brilliant goal. But United, at that point, I was thinking, okay, United are going to be in a position where they're really struggling here, and I was wondering how are United going to play this from this point on, because on the one hand, they don't want to leave Arsenal too much space in behind to get like more chances and potentially score another and kill the game off, but they do need to equalise it on like at the same time. And they managed to, I think, get it just about right, because they didn't throw the kitchen sink at it, but luckily they managed to get their set piece a few minutes later. And Ramsdale, I think he made a good save from Rashford a few minutes prior to this, but he didn't deal well with this one enough. He sort of flapped at it when I thought you needed to just make a fist and just try and get as good contact on it as possible, because he was always reaching for it. And when it's like that and you're having to sort of bend your arms and stretch your arms out away from you, not up into the air, out away from you, you're always going to be fighting a losing battle in terms of trying to get hold of the ball, especially when there's bodies in front of you. And it fell to Lisandro Martinez, and it was a very good header from Martinez, to be fair. Got just enough on it just so that it would be unreachable for the defender on the line. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Zinchenko or Gabriel, and not enough so that it didn't go over the bar. It was a very, very good cushioned header from Lisandro Martinez. And yeah, from then on you're thinking, okay, United are just going to hold on, and they did right up until the final whistle. Well, no, that's a lie. Up until this 90th minute, and at that point I'm thinking, yeah, I can't see Arsenal scoring here. They brought Trossard on for Martinelli, and Trossard, in fairness to him, played a big part in the goal, playing through Zinchenko, and Zinchenko played a brilliant ball across goal, because all the United players had got behind the ball, and that left the room for the shot to be taken. I can't remember who it was who took the shot now, which is frustrating. I think it might have been Odegaard or Xhaka. And yeah, Nketiah, it's a brilliantly improvised finish, and luckily he's just about onside. So yeah, that won the game for Arsenal in the end. And this is a huge victory for Arsenal, because they are now, I think they're 5 points clear of City and have a game in hand. So if they win that game in hand, they are potentially 8 points clear. And what that means is, even if it comes to the worst and they lose both games to City, which isn't impossible, if that does happen, that at the very least they've still got a 2 points advantage on Man City. So yeah, it would be really interesting. I think Arsenal, this is a big statement today once again. I think in fact this is even a bigger result than the North London derby last week, because I know they could won comfortably last week, but this showed they can fight until the very end of the game. But yeah, we'll get into player ratings. We'll start off with Arsenal, the home team and the winning team. Ramsdale I've given a 6. I thought he was at fault for United's second, the equaliser from Martinez. And yeah, just a bit of poor decision making. But he did make a couple of really good saves throughout the game and couldn't do anything about Rashford's goal. So I think a 6 is fair. I've also given 6s to White and Saliba. White struggled with Rashford in the first half, but I didn't think he was too bad. And it was the right decision to sub him off. And Saliba, there were 1 or 2 occasions where I thought his positioning was a little bit off in this game. But Gabriel I've given a 7. I thought some of Gabriel's passing, and I think that's something that needs to be talked about more. I think people are giving Saliba a lot of credit this season. I think they're right to. Saliba's been superb all season, and I think particularly at the start of the season he was probably the more informed defender out of the two of them. But I think maybe since the World Cup, Gabriel has really stepped up to the level of Saliba, or even might have been playing at a higher level. I'm not convinced Saliba's been quite at the same level as he was before the World Cup. Not that it's been a dramatic drop off or anything. It was just he was absolutely amazing before the World Cup. It was always going to be hard to maintain those standards. So yeah, Zinchenko I've given an 8. Absolutely amazing second half. Almost playing 2 positions at times, helping in the midfield and also keeping track of Anthony at left back as well. On the right wing, sorry, he was playing left back. You know what I mean. And then midfield, Odegaard and Xhaka I've given 7s. I thought they were brilliant. Xhaka, brilliant cross for the first goal. And Odegaard, even though I'm not sure he was actually involved in any of the goals today, once again, there were points in the game where he just ran the show and produced amazing pieces of, I wouldn't say trickery, but just like skill, as in like playing a really perfectly timed pass through or something like that. Partey I've given a 6. I thought he could have done better with the first goal, but other than that, his all-round game was fairly solid. Saka, my man of the match for this game, caused United problems all game. Luke Shaw just, I didn't think Shaw had a bad game by any means, but he just had his work cut out really. Saka was superb and his goal was amazing. Nketiah I've also given a high rating. I've given Nketiah an 8. Took both of his goals brilliantly, and I think Jesus and Nketiah for Arsenal, you get something different with both of them. Nketiah, you get a born predator almost, like someone who is phenomenal at scoring goals, and this is the first chance he's been given in the first team, I think, under a very, very good team. I remember a couple of years ago, towards the back end of the 2021, or no, it might have even been the back end of last season, 21-22, so about 9-10 months ago actually, he was given a run in the team and did score a few goals. But since Christmas, he's been on fire, Eddie Nketiah. Martinelli I've given a 7. I thought Wan-Bissaka did really well to keep him quiet for the majority of the game, but just before he got subbed off in maybe like the first 25 minutes of the second half, that's when he started to get into the game a bit more and had quite a good game, I thought, in the end. And Tomiyasu I've also given a 6 as well, came off the bench for the second half and did a solid job at right back, keeping an eye on Rashford. And Rashford was a lot quieter the second half, that should be said. Man United, I've given De Gea a 6. I don't think there was much he could do about any of the goals. Did make a good save to deny Nketiah with about 5 to 6 minutes to go. And at that point you're thinking it's just not going to be Arsenal's day, is it really? But there were a couple of dodgy moments. I remember there was one where he punched it when he had no one around him and it's an easy catch. So yeah, it wasn't the most convincing performance ever. And some of the... One thing that United did that I was confused by was the passing the ball around the back. United, that's the one thing they can't really do at the minute. They're brilliant at defending. They're really good at going forwards and counter-attacking teams with lightning speed and just pure precision. But passing the ball around the back is just not something they have the players for. Wan-Bissaka and De Gea, they're not the players you want for that. Wan-Bissaka though, I thought he had a good game. Yes, he was mostly at fault for the first goal they conceded, but I thought he did a really good job on Martinelli for the majority of the game. And for Varane, I've given a 6 as well. I thought he had a solid game. Martinez, though, I've given a 7. He took his goal brilliantly and defended really well for the majority of the game as well. Shaw, I've given a 6. I thought, considering how good Bukayo Saka was in this game, I thought he dealt with him quite well, considering how tough a task it was to deal with him. And the two midfielders, Eriksen and McTominay, I've given 7s too. I thought it was a really good midfield battle today, and not in the way that it was like scrappy like in the Liverpool-Chelsea game yesterday. In this game, it was just two quality sets of midfield. McTominay really stepped up when United needed him today, because it looked like they were going to be struggling without Casemiro. But I don't know if having Casemiro in the team would have made too much of a difference today. That was how good McTominay played, I thought. Anthony and Fernandes, I've given 6s. They weren't overly involved in this game. They were the 2 players out of all 22 players on the pitch that I thought were a little bit quiet in this game. Rashford, I've given an 8. Again, the one thing that Arsenal had to keep an eye on was Rashford. He's just in the form of his life at the minute. Took his goal brilliantly. And finally, Weghorst, I've given a 7 as well. I thought he did some really smart things in the first half. And I thought that was even another reason why I couldn't understand the passing it round the back for Man United. You've got someone to knock the ball up to who can bring it down and try and play Rashford or Anthony through. So yeah, I couldn't really understand that when you've got him on the pitch, but I thought he had a good game, Weghorst, especially in the first half. But yeah, this is a huge win for Arsenal. Minor setback for Man United, but it's nothing too big. I mean, it's hardly a criminal offence losing at the team who are top of the table. But yeah, brilliant game. One of the games of the season for sure. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.